Hey. Salibona bekhetfu. Molweni, dumelang, sanibonani. Ninjani. Hey, gumi la khulumako, Usandile wakatfukani, latalwa emafeneni. Mine gilifene, gilitsetsa, gilivuladlela, ngingumutfu wekutheuka, ngebulebe tshabeni, ngingumutfu wekuncola ngemhluti, emati yantsakona, ngipheka tiphemphembi ngenxawana, ngipheka tiqhakuba ngenxawana, ngirhwala emgodleni, ngikhamba ngemuva etasi. Madoda, nguhlathi lo ngujambase. Uhlathi elingothiwa selelivutho lothiwa zimfene kuba imfene zibaninilo. Imfene zihlukana xa kutshona ilanga. Ndingusanzanza esanzonza kwathi gqi umntu. Ndinguhamba ngezandla, uphala kuhle le ndlela iyehlela. Umabona wabulawe exela umthakathi. Bohom. Ndingundlazana ibeke etyeni ityiwe zimbovane. Ndingumwandla uluncu umando wafikela uhlangeni. Isandlalanca. Ndiyacamagusha mna ke ndizalwa emanzothweni konyelenzi komaphango kongqalo ngxaki nqanqa sinoxoxo xhamo wele. Oyini bafazi bentsikizi lentsholo nayiphazama nithabatha isidoda ingoma ehlatyelwe isifazi. Siba kuluka yuthu intaba kahila unabele mntu isiqaso mile zona zintshaba. Hey my people, hello. It's been a while. Yesterday was my birthday, guys. I'm still celebrating my birthday. 1st of July is my birthday. 1st of July is my birthday. I was born on the 1st of July around 2 a.m. in the morning. When I came down, I didn't come head first. I came feet first. We call that ukwehla ngokuhla. It has a significance. I came feet first. I was born on the 1st of July. Thank you, Brother Tsipa. Thank you, Kamaku, my people. Hello, everyone. I am the 10th child. I'm the last born at home. I'm the 10th. The eldest, I think, was born in 1969. I think my eldest, the firstborn, my father's firstborn, my brother, Eric, I think he was born in 1969, if not 68. So my brother was born in the 60s. My father was born in the 40s. My mother was born in the 50s. So I was raised by people from the 50s. They raised me, you know. So I've been a bit quiet. I just thought I should pop in while I'm still celebrating my birthday. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, man. It's nice, you know. It's nice. Thank you, guys. Yeah, and I thought maybe I should say I'm going to be hosting a couple more lives almost every day. If I can't do it during the week, absolutely on weekends I'm going to do it. Absolutely. I'm going to try and do a live where I'm going to go for 10 hours undisturbed. Probably on Saturday. Maybe Sunday. Maybe not Saturday. I'm going to do a live undisturbed for 10 full hours because I think it's important for us to actually talk. And I'm going to try and go live. I'm going to try and go live maybe around 12 because I need to be sober. I need to be sober in terms of I need to drink coffee and all that just to be mentally ready for all that comes with hosting a live. Pura, you thought I was going to host a party? Aye, man. No, Pura, no. We're dealing with sensitive matters here, Pura. No, Pura. No, not a party, but a live. Tsipa is asking if I've done any podcast. No, I've never done a podcast. I haven't done a podcast. Not yet. Maybe later in the year. I might do a couple, but no, not yet. I'm not against it. I'm open to it. So yeah, guys, we'll be doing a lot of lives. So most of my lives, in terms of time, on weekends, my lives are going to be around midday, early afternoon, like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. On weekends, my lives are going to start then all the way through to the night. Then on weekdays, my lives will always be after 4 to 6. They can start any time between 4 or 6. And then sometimes I do late night. I do know it's very late right now. It's like almost 10 minutes to 1 a.m. I'm not going to stay for long. I'm just here to greet and say I'm still enjoying my birthday. Yay! Woohoo! I was playing a song from this other lady from Zimbabwe, Chiwoniso Marahire. I think that's her name. She's late, but it's a very beautiful song. I like it. I like because she uses the mbira. I like her music. Sakbona Tabani. So what would you guys like for me to discuss during the lives? What would you guys like for me to discuss? Because, sometimes there's topics that I may overlook, because maybe I haven't thought much about them. But it's always good to get some intel from you guys in terms of what topics you want to hear. I see there's a question. What's the meaning behind Xhosa? The word Xhosa means full of hills, full of hills, full of hills and mountains. It's the name of a river that flows and meanders around mountains and hills. So Xho is a mountain. Well, also it's an eagle. But in this sense, it's the name of a river. It's a river that flows in between mountains. Xhosa. Kha is a suffix that we use to relate things to other things. So if I say you like to sleep or to be sleepy, we'll say utongo, butong or burok. So when you are someone who likes to sleep, we call you itongocha. If you're someone who's lazy, laziness is unqena, ukonqena. So if you're someone who's very lazy, we say ulinqenecha. We have a word for blue, we call it Zulu. So something that's bluish in color, we say Zulucha, etc., etc. So the names of rivers tend to have kha, because you are relating the water to something else. So when you say Xhosa, it's Xho as in the mountain, Kha as in near to mountains or in a place abundant with mountains. Actually, the full name of rivers generally is Xama, Xhosa Xama, or Xhosa Xam. Xam means water. So when you say Xhosa Xam, you're saying water that is in a place full of mountains. In fact, there's a river in Eastern Cape called Bicha. Bicha. The full name is Bicha Xam. It's literally Bicha Xam. Bi, milk. Cha, like. Xam, water. Bicha Xam, water like milk or the milky waters. And there are many rivers with names like this. We have Ngaba Cha. We have Esi Cha. We have Iti Cha. You understand? We have Qari Cha, Khasu Cha, Ram Cha, Ka Cha. All these names are not full because when they are full, you need to add Qam or Qama at the end. Qacha, Qama or Qacha Qam, Bicha Qam, Qabacha Qam. Qam is to tell you that we are referring to the water. We are referring to the water. Sometimes we use Qili or Qarib to refer to the water. We use Qili or Qarib. So it's going to be Ngu Qili, which means the black water. Ngu Qarib. See, Ngu. So it's important to understand naming conventions. This is a topic I try to address, but I think I need to do more work around it. It's important to understand naming conventions, how names come about. Tell you so much more than meets the eye. For example, Xhosa is just next to Xhosa. There's a place called Mqanduli. Mqanduli sounds very much like a title given to a person. If you understand the language, Mqanduli literally means the one who does the action of ukuqandula. Mqanduli. The one who does the action of ukuqandula. What is ukuqandula? Is to chisel out stones, is to do stone masonry. So the place Mqanduli literally means the place of the mason. Now there's a history behind the name of Mqanduli because there was a hill where a stonemason used to live. This guy used to chisel out stones. He used to work out stones. He lived on the hill. The hill ended up being known as Indulu Yemqanduli. Hence, then the hill ended up being called Mqanduli. Today, it's a place name, Mqanduli, just not far from Xhosa. It's the same thing with a place called Umtata. Umtata is, in actual fact, Umtati, a sneezewood tree. Sneezewood tree is full along the banks of the Umtata River. Umlambo Umtati being a tree. So because the tree are so abundant next to the river was called the river of the sneezewood tree. But an older name of Umtata is the name Ingqubusi. Ingqubusi means a waterfall. From the word ukungquba, to fall down, boom, as the water comes and thunders down. So it's Ingqubusi in that sense. Tsipa, you want me to be a guest on Penwell the Black Pen? Nah, I'm keen. I don't mind. I'm absolutely fine. I would be a guest on Penwell the Black Pen. I think there's a lot of things that they need a new perspective on. And then Tsipa's asking, if you were to give a lecture to my grade 9 learners, which topic would you address them on? That's very interesting because grade 9, obviously that would be like 14, 15, 16. I think with grade 9, the most important aspect, you don't want to go too deep on occultic stuff. You don't want to go too deep on culture. You want to focus on language as an instrument of understanding and unearthing and unveiling culture. So I would focus on that part. Language is an instrument, and we use language then to link things that seem unrelated. I would focus on language. Young children need to understand how their language links back to the origin of things. And it is unfortunate that they lose language. So I would probably start with words they would be familiar with. I would start with Tsotsital, when they say eksekau, eita, and show how all those words have very, very clear links to indigenous South African languages. And when I say indigenous South African, I'm talking about isiXhosa, isiZulu, Sepedi, Kilubedu. Those are indigenous South African languages. When I say indigenous, I mean it exactly as in its truest sense. So I would really delve onto language very deeply, and it's a very good age to instill depth of language at that age. Because once they grab it there, they'll never lose it. I grabbed language in those ages as well. The depth of my language I learned in those ages. 14, 15, 16, 17. By the time I'm 18, I understood. Let me read the other comment. I just learned about isifotia as Mutswana Mupedi. I'm wondering where I was fotia before. Oh, because women tie their waist when there are funerals, weddings, and other ceremonies. Yes, there are many traditions that have been lost today. You see, I put a woman here. This is a woman from a place known as Khini. Today they call it Makanda or Grahamstown. It used to be called Grahamstown, but we know it as Khini. You see, this is a woman from there. I think in the early 1900s. I like the face paint she has on. I also like it because it makes other people uncomfortable when they look at it. They are scared. They think it's demonic, you know. Just like people think it's demonic to know your clan names these days. It's a level of, it's an unprecedented level of cognitive dissonance. And we must uncover the things that we don't even know about, let alone the things that people still remember. We need to uncover the things that nobody remembers. No, this is a Xhosa woman from Grahamstown. Proper Xhosa woman from Grahamstown. Look at the features properly. Sharp cheekbones, flat nose, nice jaws. Beautiful Xhosa woman with a face paint that we call ifuta. Amazing. It is nice to learn about meaning behind words. And the beautiful small eyes. I forgot there's a word they use for this. I just forgot the word. Are Black Americans queer because many of them look a lot like us South Africans? Black Americans, you know, I've had a lot of Black American acquaintances over the years. One thing I can say, Black Americans have diverse genetics. Not all Black Americans they're not homogenous. They're not this homogenous group as people think. Black Americans have very diverse genetic origins. There are Black Americans who descend from so-called Native American peoples. You have your Snoop Dogs, who are very much Native American. You have your Beyoncés, who have some element of Native American DNA. And then you've got some Black Americans who have West African heritage, strong West African heritage. Thank you, Observer. Salute. Some Black Americans have strong West African heritage, but not from slavery. Way before slavery. There were West African people in the Americas way before slavery. Seafaring West Africans. You know, from the bloodlines of your Mansa Musas, your Abu Bakars, and the descendants of those people. A lot of them went over to America. And the nice thing is that they merged with the native communities there. So there is also that element of Black Americans. Those who have native ancestry, those who have West African mixed with native ancestry. And then there's Black Americans who are West African slave descendants, but not just West African slave descendants, also Southern African slave descendants and Central African slave. There are Black Americans that I've seen who do have Southern African DNA, queer DNA. Like when you do a DNA sequencing, it shows patterns that are predominant in Southern African indigenous communities. There are. It's there. It's there. Like I've seen it myself. So, yeah. A lot of them can be related back to us, but also they are also related to the indigenous communities that side. You know, the Guatemalan communities, the Southern American communities, the Central American communities. You see, I've met a couple of Americans with those ancestors. So they are not this homogenous group. And also, you know, there are Black Americans who have very strong Central African features, and when you look at them, oh man, it would be crazy. You would think they're South African as well. Strong Southern African features. I've seen them. You don't get to see too many of them on TV, but if you go to America and actually interact with the people, you will see. Also, region will determine. So right now in America, there's a group of people known as the Gulagichi people. The Gulagichi. Thank you, Observer. The Gulagichi are actually Central Africans from Angola. Gula is actually Ngola. Ngola was like a title that was used in the Central African republics or kingdoms of the Mbundu peoples and some of the peoples. The Bakongo, you have the Baluba, you have the Kimbundu peoples or Kimbundu speaking peoples. You have the Bangala, all these different groups. Some of them use Ngola. You have Ngola Akilwanje as titles for kings and royalties. Some of them use Mwene. You would know that Mwene means owner, umnini, owner of a land. So Ngola was a title that survived all the way through to the to the east coast of America. Today you have a group of people known as the Gulagichi people. So the idea that Americans come from Senegal, black Americans come from Senegal or the regions of Liberia only or Nigeria only is complete and utter bollocks. A lot of Americans do have Southern African heritage. Absolutely. Can you tell me who's the highest surname in the Basotho? I don't understand that question. Highest surname? I don't understand highest surname. I don't know what that means. Yeah. So my people, I thought I should just share. In my language we call it amaqitiqiti. That's little I thought I should just share the most prominent. Maybe let me put it this way. Right now in South Africa, the Basotho peoples, obviously the royal clan are the Bakwena. The royal clan are the Bakwena. You understand? But some of the oldest clans you will find amongst these three people: the Bahurutse, the Barolong, and the Bafokeng. Bahurutse, Barolong, Bafokeng. Those are your go-to if you want to look at people who have the oldest history. You understand? And then someone's asking me to explain the Abesuthu part under Ngosini. Hey, guys, the Ngosini people are actually a Kora group of people. They are a Kora clan. They are a Kora nation. So, Kamalaw, Amangosini, Ngabatwa, or they are Kwe, Khoe, Amangosini. Amangosini, they are part of a group within the Kora nation known as the Arema case. Arema, abantu abame enxele, onxelema, oma nxele. Arema case is a name that means a nation or a house, like Iqiba. So when you say Ngosini, they belong to the left-standing household of the Kora nation, the Arema case. The Ngosini themselves, the name Ngosini means the people who are at the back, the last clan. Abantu base Kosi or base Ngosini, Ingosini or Ikoyini. It comes from the word Ingebela Koyi. When something comes very last, we say Amagrebela kan Koyi. Koyi means last. Just like Ang means first. Do you understand? So when you say the first clan in a nation, you would call them Angini. Angini. When you say the last clan in a nation, you say Oyini or Osini. So Osi or Oyi means last. Osini are the last clan within the bigger Karimak Ace people, which is the left people. But the Ngosini themselves are a group of many clans. They are a group of the Xioshe clans. Xioshe means wildcat. Washe. That's why we also have Twabe or Nwabe, which also means wild clan, or Twabe, which also means wildcat. So Twabe, Washe, or Xioshe, all those names mean the wildcat, Imbodla, or Itataza. It's the African wildcat. So within the Ngosini group, it's Osini or Kausin, the last clan. It's Xioshe or Wache, the wildcat people. It's Ngangana or Kakhan, the right-hand people. It's Gaba or Gaubab, the lords, the royals, or the people of the Val de Bies. Igaba is the Val de Bies. So among Ngosini, as we understand them today, are actually groups of individual clans amongst the Kora nation. There are groups of individuals that came together to form Ubungosini. So when amaNkosini recite their clan names, thank you very much, observer, I appreciate you. When amaNkosini come together and say their clan names, bathi Nqosini, last lying clan, Cihoshe, Wildcat clan, Titiba. Titiba is a name of a chief of the Ora people. I actually have evidence of Titiba. It's a human being who used to exist. When they say now, Nozinga. Now, some people say Nozinga comes from a group of slaves from Central Africa who were the people of the Mbundu kingdom, or people who came from the Mbundu kingdom of Congo / Angola under Queen Zinga. Some people say those slaves were incorporated into the Ora nation, and they were sort of like memorialized through the clan name Nozinga. That's one, but Nozinga also means the people who are actually hunters, because ukuzinga is to hunt, hence ukuzingela. So you understand, it may mean that, it may also mean the hunters. So these are groups of people who came together. In fact, up until in the 1720s, there was evidence that the Umjobi, one of the Ngosi kings, actually came toe to toe with King Palo of Amaxhosa. Umjobi of the Ngosini came toe to toe with King Palo of Amaxhosa in 1725. They fought in 1725. There's a book written in German. It's called Die Volkskaffern. Die Volkskaffern. Or Das Volk. Yeah, Das Volkskaffern. Ubib, Umjobi, Usonhliziyo, like someone with umuntu onyamezelayo. You understand? So amaNkosini then ngabathwa. When you say Msuthu, remember now, Suthu is not necessarily in reference to the group of people that Mshweshwe brought together. The title Msuthu is very old. I myself, I am Msuthu. Ndingumfene mina uhlathi ulisa umsuthu ucanzi usanzanza uhlangomva elweni. So when I call myself Msuthu, it doesn't mean I bow down to the family of Letsiye. No, I'm not a subject of Letsiye. I don't belong to the Lesotho nation, but I am Msuthu. I existed before the Lesotho nation. My clan was in existence before the Lesotho nation. Literally. You go there to Lesotho, you find the most famous cave. You find out who was living there. It's my ancestors. You go to the southern part of Lesotho, names like Kuting, Kacha Snake. I can tell you what those names mean. I am not Musuthu as in a citizen of Lesotho. I was Sotho long before. So when people must understand, when they say amaNkosini ngomSotho, they're not saying amaNkosini are the citizens of the Lesotho nation. amaNkosini in 1725 are already in Eastern Cape. The Lesotho nation did not exist by then. So how can they be Basotho? By in 1725, they were already in Eastern Cape fighting with Upalo. It's impossible. Msuthu, understand, it refers to the brown color. Whether it's the color of the river, Usuthu or Lusuthu. That's why AmaZulu say, Hebe Usuthu. Hebe Usuthu. That's why AmaSwati would say, Nyabona Usuthu ludvumile. Usuthu ludvumile. Usuthu is a river. It's thundering. So it's important to understand that sometimes rivers are named based on color. So Sotho then is the color dark brown in essence. It's the color dark brown. So singabe Sotho, singomSotho thina. There are many Msothos in Eastern Cape and KZN. Yes, some of them came from what is now known as Lesotho, but they were in existence before that nation was even formed. Before that nation was even formed. So, Amangosini, yes, their most prominent area where they settled is around the Orange River, which is also where Lesotho was formed. Lesotho was formed at the source of the Orange River. Emantloko komlambo iGqili or isinqo iLesotho yabunjwa phezu kwentaba zobusuku thababusiwe. Yes, Sotho and Nsundu is exactly the same thing. Sotho and Nsundu is exactly the same thing. I'm missing some of the points now. Can you tell about the Mngongo and Dlomo clan? Because some say it's the same person, some say. Okay. You see the Mngongo and the Dlomo people. Now, firstly, Dlomo is a name you will find across different groups as a name. You will find uDlomo kumaHlubi. You will find uDlomo komKhabela oDinangwe. You will find uDlomo sometimes kumabhele. Oh, uDlomo Dludlu. Then you will find uDlomo kubaThembu. Not Omthembu, but abaThembu, the kingdom. There's two different types of abaThembu. Kukho abaThembu baseQhudeni. These people come from KZN. They are originally from KZN. abaThembu baseQhudeni. Then kukho abaThembu bakwaDlomo ngokobukhosi. These are the people of King Dalindyebo. The people of King Dalindyebo are known as abaThembu, as a kingdom. But in that kingdom, there's no clan called Mthembu. There's no one in the kingdom of Dalindyebo that can say, my clan name is Mthembu. No, it's Dlomo. Now, Dlomo can be called Mthembu, but that's not really, they do refer to themselves as Mthembu. But everyone who's under the kingdom that is run by Odlomo, Gumthembu. In fact, even my own ancestors, before we were closer, we were Thembu. Thina Mamfene besihleli kakhulu ebathenjini. We worked closely with the Prince Undungwane to help him build. He worked with us, Amamfene. In fact, today, ebathenjini Amamfene are the most abundant. In places like Ofimvaba, in places like Duchwa, in places like Ngakaka, in places like Khamama, Kusabalele, all those places are full of Amamfene, ebathenjini. So, sasingabaThembu. When I asked my father as a young child, what are we? Are we Xhosa? Are we this or that? He's like, oh no, we are abaThembu. Originally. Okay, not original, but back in the day, we used to be abaThembu. Today we are Ngika. You understand? So abaThembu is, as a kingdom, the royal family are the people of Udlomo. Then you have another group of abaThembu. These ones are a clan. These are Mvelase, Qhudeni, Mnisi Wemvula. Two different groups. Yes, in Eastern Cape we have both of them. We have abaThembu as a kingdom, and we have Omthembu, Omvelase, Qhudeni as a clan. Not the same people and not related. So when you talk about Umngongo, you're talking about a group within abaThembu. Now, Tina, who have done the research, abaThembu are not from somewhere else. abaThembu are Cham descendants. Ginzala yabantu leya straight. Ayixoxisa ixabanisi futhi. Ayixoxisa ixabanisi. Zulu kaNtombela, those are the abaThembu baseQhudeni. Those are the clan. They came from KZN. Sinabe, Eastern Cape, we have those abaThembu in Eastern Cape. And those abaThembu, actually, they didn't come because Shaka was killing people or whatever. They came out of their own will. They were not victims of some war. They just came. And there's another myth that people who came, sorry, I'm just trying to unlock some comments here. People who came from KZN, not all those people came as victims of some war. In fact, before the so-called Infectani, which we know there's a lot of propaganda around it, there were many people from KZN already in Eastern Cape way before. Not everyone who's a Dlamini in Eastern Cape came because of a war. Not everyone who's a Khadebe was a victim of war. Not everyone who's a Khumalo in Eastern Cape was a victim of war. A lot of them, Gamakhosa okungenela, that's what we call them. They've been grafted into the Xhosa identity. They were not, because I heard someone say the Xhosa was a refugee state, it was taking refugees. No. Refugees came in the 1830s. But they were already, Oskhosana bebekhona Eastern Cape. Amantungwa bebekhona Eastern Cape. Abathembu baseqhudeni bebekhona Eastern Cape. Odlamini, amabhele bebekhona. Long before. We'll talk about that someday. So abathembu then, the ones abase omnqongo and abathembu, these are royal clans. These are royal clans within the Abathembu kingdom, not the clan of Omnisi and or Omvelas. Amangqongo are part, they literally come from the royal line. Amangqongo, Eduma, Ontsundu, which is Ngqongo, same thing. Tinake, who've done the research, we say these people are actually Tram descendants. Because when you look at the old name of Abathembu in old books, like if you go back to like as close as you can to 1600, 1688, the records of the shipwreck survivors of the Grosvenor ship and the Stavanissa ship. These people don't talk about Thembu, they talk about Tambuki people. In fact, even in Eastern Cape, there's places like Tambuki's Flay. We know Tambuki is actually just an English mispronunciation of Trambuke or Trambuke. Trambuke or Trambuke. Means people, like in the coat of arms. Abantu abaxolelweyo bayaqhawulana. People. That's why sometimes we have the word for people. So Tambuki, it's Tambuke or Tambuke, the Tam descendant people. Amathembu. And if you look at all the names, Ngqongo, if you go to Northern Cape, for example, you have a group of people there called Ngqong Kwa or Ngqongke, which means Ngqongo people. You look at Ntsundu as well. If you go to Northern Cape still, you still have the same people. Ngqu people who speak Ngquki or Ngquki, which means Ntsundu people. Abantu abantsundu. Ngqu means black, Ntsundu. You have Kamuzu Ndongeni. Ndongeni, I see your request, don't worry. And then you have your these are royal clans. Amangqongo, Oqeduma, Amantande, Odlomo. That's why, I mean, you can see that the king of Abathembu. You can see Omandela. You can see all the other king, Osabata Dalijebo. Just look at them. In fact, the area that is ruled over by Abathembu, it's full of Kui people. By Kui, I mean these people you see on the screen. Abathwa, not abathwa bavuke engceni. Hayi abathwa bayizolo. The proper abathwa. These ones that you see there. I'm sure you know someone who looks like this. Oh, Holomisa. Amahegebe. Yabona Holomisa. The likes of Holomisa. These are Kui descendants. Just look at this short man here and this short lady. Yeah? This is the proper bloodlines. The old, if you go back in time, And remember, guys, now, you see, now we start to cut our hair. We put beard oil to grow the beard, we make the waves. But if I let this hair just for 2 days, I leave it, hey, you will be shocked. It looks like peppercorn. You will be shocked. These are the people, the ancestors of Amangongo, the ancestors of Omadiba, the ancestors of Amantande, the ancestors of Eduma, the ancestors of Amahegebe, the Holomisa's ancestors of Amakwati or Kamela, or the ancestors of Steve Biko. These are the ones. No mixture there. The hair, the kind of hair we talk about is the hair called amagqaqa, qaqa hair. They call it peppercorn hair. Now we call it qaqa, amagqaqa, to be far from each other. Someone had mentioned this hair in Setswana or Sepedi. Punza. What is that hair called in Sepedi? What's the name? The peppercorn hair. Now we call it amagqaqa. And therefore, people who have that hair city, because the hair is ga. So what I'm saying is that the true ancestry of the people in the deep sky, deep Transkei, deep KZN is here. The Kui. And it's important that my people, you learn about Kui people so that people don't lie to you. Dikhobe in Setswana, inkobe, yes. You have to learn about Kui people because these are the true ancestors.
Sure, Sandra.
Yebo.
Quick question, Chief.
Yebo.
When are you releasing the book?
So I'm just gonna explain quickly.
Yeah.
There's someone who's offered to help me to self-publish, ne? So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna do it. Is it gonna be an ebook, or is it gonna be, a PDF, or is it gonna be like hard copy? So I'm still trying to figure that out. But I've got good news. The book is gonna be 100-word booklet. The first one. I've got 2 that I'm busy with. It's gonna be 100-word booklet. Let me just give you a sneak peek quickly.
Sure.
Let me just wait. I'm just gonna give you a sneak peek quickly. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about when I say there's gonna be 2 booklets. That's exactly what I mean. So I'm already working. It's a 100-word booklet. The 100 words are already written there. I've been doing some deep analysis on the books, obviously, to be able to link. If you speak Setswana, you must be able to see your Tswananes in Tram. If you speak Tram, you must be able to see your Tram in isiXhosa. If you speak isiXhosa, you must be able to see the depth of your language in isiZulu. So it's not just now a word. I'm actually going very deep in terms of linking at the basal element, at the most basal level of
But
speech.
don't you think, or you are limiting yourself by, because I mean, I bump into your TikToks every now and then, and listen, and I think whatever you're saying it can't be put in one book or one
Yeah.
series.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. Okay, maybe let me just quickly explain. What I'm saying is the first one I'm gonna release is a booklet for you guys, yabo, because I want you guys to have something to read. But what I'm actually writing is like a series. I didn't show you the actual book. This is just a booklet, the one I showed you. There is a book that I'm writing. I'm not gonna show it to anyone. It's gonna be when it's done, I'm gonna release it. But this year, like now, in a few months, the booklet will be ready. That's what I'm currently working on. So I'm releasing the booklet. You guys, you nibble on that while I'm finishing volume 1. Once I release volume 1, I finish volume 2. So That's actually what I'm working on. It's volume after volume. And also, they are going to be accompanied by documentaries. So I'm also like preparing in terms of, so it's going to be, it's a lifelong project. So it's not something that can be done. It can't be done. I will leave it to those who are going to come after me to continue as well. So don't worry about like, there's no
But you must
end
leave a
to it.
footprint, Chief.
Yeah.
You must leave a footprint. You can't say, "Ray, I'm gonna more maybe, for example, season 1, and then
Yeah.
read guys, and then season 2 and whatever." If, for
Yeah.
example, if
I
God
get you.
forbid, you must leave something behind. I don't know. What's your thought on Mziligas? Hey, I don't know how even I got into this request. What's your thought on Mziligas?
Okay. I'm gonna answer you, but let me just continue with my train of thought, ne? Then I'm gonna touch on that. Is
Okay.
that fine?
Can you take
Okay,
me
thank
off
you.
the request thing?
All right, thanks, my brother. Thanks. So,
Thank you.
so, so, as I was saying, my people, ne, those things like peppercorn hair and all that, this is our true ancestry, and it's very important. Ne? It's extremely important that we understand to be able to intercept the lies that are being pushed by puppets and puppeteers. Puppets and puppeteers. Bantu, Bantu, please, you can send me an inbox. We can talk there. Puppets and puppeteers are working day and night to flip the script on truth and invent their own version of history. They've done it before, they're doing it again. And there's only one way to kill those lies is by knowing the truth. And these puppets and puppeteers have resources. You understand? So the only resource you guys, my people, myself included, can use is truth. And the beautiful thing about truth is that it doesn't need you to defend it. You just put it out there, and all of a sudden they disappear from the lives. All of a sudden you don't see them commenting on lives like this. They just start reporting the live. Because you can't argue against this, what you see right here. If you don't see Ubonga, Bonga, when you see this man, if you don't see Ubonga, Bonga, when you see this man, if you don't see a guy you grew up with, if you don't see a neighbor, if you don't see that uncle who's always drinking, when you see this man, then you don't know what you're doing. These are calm people with the most agreed upon language that is one of the oldest languages. But calm people themselves belong to a group of people known as Kwi. Kwi is the Khegwi people of KZN and Pumalanga, is the Ganga people of Transkei, Eastern Cape. Kwi is the Ngu people of Eastern Cape and Northern Cape. You have Ngung, you have Chwa, Abatwa, all these groups that are our true ancestors, our actual ancestors are Kham. I'm not going to even mince the words there. I'm going to be very clear about it. So I need you to learn about Ganga people. If you are from Tsolo, you are from Pondoland, you are from Transkei, or whatever used to be called Transkei, learn about Ganga people. I need you to learn about Khegwi people. If you're from KZN, I need you to learn about Amankeshe. I'm going to need you to learn about Amankeshe. Thank you, Blue Moon. Yay, yay. Villa says there's a Rasta man who says Kwe people don't have culture. If you believe in circumcision, that's Kwe culture. In Ngiti, the cutting off the little finger, that's Kwe culture. In Tonjane, Khote, Amandebele call it Ikude. In Kwi, it's Khote, that's Kwe culture. Polygamy is Tembu, that's Kwe culture. In fact, the second wife is called Kadi, which Amakosa use it for Ikadi, the supporting woman. So that Rasta man who says Kwe people don't have culture, he needs to tone down something that he's consuming. He's speaking from a place of ignorance. Peace and love to you, brother Ramutev. Do you understand that our people are misled and confused because they don't know? Tsipa, yes, culture is important. Culture, remember now, culture is continuous. It's continuous. Culture evolves. Culture is not tradition. Two different things. Uzile Mabongo, does Griqua refer to colored with Kwe descent? Griqua, the name Griqua, let's explain it. It's Chiriqua. Chiriqua. Chiri means white. Kwa means people. Do I need to say more? Yes, I will. Chiriqua or Chiriqwana, that's what they are called in Kwekwe Goab and Korakobab. Chiriqua and Chiriqwana, these are people who have European ancestry and indigenous ancestry. Yes, they are European descendants, Griqua people. However, I'm going to say this, and I'm not promoting Griqua people or not promoting Griqua people. What I'm saying is they did end up running away from the European side and started living a more African life. In fact, Griqua people used to sell slaves. They were European descendants with ancestry of indigenous people. They sold slaves. They sold some Sotho slaves. They sold Batlaping. They sold some people in the Eastern Cape areas. They went and sold them in farms. However, some Chiriqua people went and merged with Bapudi. They mixed with Bapudi. They mixed with Basotho. They mixed with Amazulu and Amampondo. Yes. So it's not black and white like that. You understand? Some sold slaves, some mixed with some indigenous societies like Amazulu, Amampondo, Basotho. So it's very important to understand the nuance as well. Someone was asking me that whether it's wrong for some Tonga people to say they are Shangaan. You see, if you go to my YouTube, the name of my YouTube channel is Sandile Tukani. We have Sandile Tukani. It's my YouTube channel. That is where you'll find the video on who the Tsonga are and who the Shangaan are. Shangaan people are the descendants of the people who were under Usoshangane. Usoshangane wakwanqumalo, osuka kumandwandwe. They are not Tsonga. Shangaan people are not Tsonga. They are descendants of Usoshangane. Now, descendants of Usoshangane are generally people who came from KZN. They are generally people who came from KZN and some few groups who Usoshangane conquered. And those few groups were part of the Shitsonga speaking people. But the Tsonga people themselves are multiple groups, generally of Kalanga origin, who speak a group of languages known as Shitsonga, but those groups have their own dialects, like Hlanganu, Shinkuna, etc., Shironga. So blanket terms like Tsonga and stuff, they really minimize true identity of Southern Africa. We understand the reason why these blanket terms are used to simplify people who have similar, languages, but it's so much more detailed than that. So if you want to learn about Tsonga, you want to learn about Soshangane, please go to YouTube under the channel Sandile Tukani. You will see there I've written Soshangane. If you want to learn about Mzilikazi, Tsipa. If you want to learn about Mzilikazi, go to YouTube, Sandile Tukani. Watch, there's a session there that we went deep into Mzilikazi. I think it's a 4-hour video. It's a 4-hour video. Yes, Mzilikazi came from here, came from South Africa. Like Usoshangane came from South Africa. And Mzilikazi was never Ndebele. Mzilikazi was Mantungweni. Uphuma kumantungwa Mzilikazi. Wenyuka, yes, he did encounter Amandebele. He did encounter Bapedi, Sambatswana along the way. Yabon, he came face to face with some of those groups. Did encounter a couple of other groups as well. They were known as Amahlabezulu or Umthwakazi. You see, the name Umzilikazi, the name Matebele came later as an exonym. They didn't call themselves Matebele one. It was an exonym. No, Mandebele kudala khona Mandebele. Umzilikazi took a name. Umzilikazi uses a name that was already there. Mandebele kudala khona. Isizwe samandebele sikhona. Mandebele bakwanzunza, Mandebele akwamulendlane, amakwagegana. Zikhona izizwe zamandebele vele. Abantu bakamusi. Yabona? Bakhona. Now, thing is, some of the Tswana speaking peoples and the Pedi speaking peoples and the Sotho speaking peoples, anyone who speaks something that sounds like Nguni, to them, that person is Litebele. So it's not just abantu bakamzilikazi who are called Matebele. Amahlubi are also called Matebele. Some of the Abaputi people are also called Matebele to this day. You understand? Amahlubi, Amangwane, Abaputi, to this day, all of them are called Matebele. Matebele. But those people are not Matebele. It's an exonym. Just like some people in KZN and Eastern Cape, whether you are Pedi or Mulubedu or Tswana, you are called Msutu and that's it. Do you understand? It's a simplification of nuance. Vila is asking, what is the purpose of doing Ingiti? Hey, Mukaranga. That's funny. What is the purpose of doing Ingiti? What is Ingiti? Ingiti is to cut the middle finger. Not middle finger, sorry. To cut a finger. A joint of a finger. Ne? I'm going to try and find a picture of someone who is Ingiti. I'll show you. You see this mama here? This is a Gange bushman, bushwoman. And I'm using the word very loosely here. She's a Kui person, Gange, from Eastern Cape. Gumtwakazi lo ngqo. Now Gumtwakazi. She's not from West Africa. She's not an invader. Gumtwakazi ngqo. Axoxisa xabanisi. Kuya. Kimusarwa of the Gange people. They are rainmakers. I just don't have a picture now, but her middle finger is cut in the middle finger, as it used to be back in the day. So, in my clan, we cut the last finger. We cut the little joint there. The men. The women cut the ring finger. They cut the little joint of the ring finger. Now, it originated especially as a mourning ritual. It's a mourning ritual. So I'm going to explain it like this. When a woman who's having her first child loses that child, sithi uzalele phansi, which means she gave birth to the ground, on the ground. Yabo, the child didn't land on some skin or whatever, but went straight to the ground. It's a euphemistic way of saying the child didn't survive. We had to bury the child. So the firstborn did not survive. To signify that, all the subsequent children that are going to be born of that woman, all the subsequent children will lose a joint. To say a part of you has fallen down to the ground, so we will remove from you a small joint to signify that. It was a mourning ritual. Secondly, when the eldest member of a bloodline passes on for this generation, everyone was from that bloodline in some of these communities, especially cave people, abantu abahlala emiqolombeni, people who live in the caves, especially them, they used to cut off a joint. So when you cut that joint, is to say, a part of me has been moved away from me, has been taken away from me. So you signify it by cutting the joint. And the tradition is done when you are still young. When you are still young. Traditionally, that's how it's done. That's how it is done. Now, I know Amamfene do it. I've met a Ngeba person from Tofimvaba who does it as well. I know Amanzoto, Kham, my mother's people, they do it as well. So both from my mother's side and my father's side, we cut the finger. It is an old Bushman tradition, my brother. Or my sister, I don't know. But I know it's an old Bushman tradition. You see in the Drakensberg, inside the caves there, they've found a lot of skeletons with a missing pinky finger. Nabantu bakwaNgubane, yes, abantu bakwaNgubane, they do it. True, they do it. I've seen them. Ingqithi. Yo, amongst our clan, you have to do it. You don't have a choice. You have to do it. You must cut. But there are also people who cut the face most. Fortunately, we don't. Oh, I didn't know that Ngoba people did it, eh? I didn't know that Ngoba people did it. I didn't know. So. Abathwa nanko omnye umthwakazi, guys. Nanko umthwakazi. It's important to understand this. Naba abathwa nazi indala yabathwa. These are faces you see every day. When you look at these faces, you can recognize someone. You remember a face that resembles this face. You understand? You can remember a face that resembles these people. Maybe let me take my own blood. You see, this is my sister, blood. This is my blood sister. She was born in 1970, I think 79. 1979. This is my sister. Just look at her. This is my father's child, this one. Oh, no pungi madoda. Mamfene, majambas, malisi, macansi, masanzansi, tlangomvelweni. Oh, phala kuhle le ndlela iyehlela mabona bulawe ngathi ngumthakathi. Oh, bohom. Dlazana. Is she single? Hi, man. Hey, Baba. Hey. You must come with cows, eh? Ah, no, this one, she's single. She'll never get married, this one. Kuntombi kayise. Kuntombi kayise lo, she'll never get married. This is the guardian of the family. She's not going to get married, ever. This is my blood. Straight. Let me show you another sibling, eh? Let me show you another one quickly. It's important that we show these things, guys, because people are lying out there, and I don't want these lies to continue. We must intervene. We must intervene. This is yes, my sister. Yes, she is in the art of herbs and all that. The short one is my aunt, my father's sister, and the other one is my cousin, her daughter. These are my people, bloodline, Baba. These are my people, bloodline. It's not just J, some strangers. Yeah, born. This is my blood. No. And I'm showing them purely for that, so that you can see. We are not claiming here. We are not claiming things here. This is my other sister. This is an old photo. I came after this one. I come after this one. Her name is Nonkosi. Tombi Nkosi madoda. Oh, Feneki. Yeah. So, and I know this one's a light skin, eh? But my mom is dark, and she has very strong features of South African features, very strong. I'll just look for a picture. I think I need to save a picture locally. This is my other sister. I'll show you my dad. Ah, that's my dad right there. That's my dad right there. They will tell you, hey, abathwa ntontoni, a Chinese, blah blah. Hayi bo, naba abathwa, guys. Naba abathwa. You don't have to look too far. Now this is my blood, proper. And I know this is the truth for millions and millions of South Africans. and Southern Africans. Hey, Guadalabatwa. Hey, Guadalabatwa Mgangre. I don't have cake, my brother, man. Those things with the cake of things for children, man. Cake are things for children. So, Banonabekas, my people, you don't want to be arguing with these people. Just pull out the facts, Nje. That's all you need to do. Look at this one. Look at this. Yeah? Look at this. Thank you, guys. My birthday was yesterday. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. My birthday was yesterday. No, we must talk about these people. We must talk because these are our people, guys. That's why it's very important to learn about Abatwa. We have to talk about Nangu Khalima Mutlante. Whether you take Khalima Mutlante or you take Holomisa or you take Mohueng, even Pekitele. Even that man who acted to Shaka Zulu, Henry Tele. I found an old picture of myself. Hey, let me see if I can find it. I don't know. Hopefully I will. Maybe I won't. It's fine. This is my nephew right here. This is my nephew. Hey, my daughter. Hey, Mtana Kamalume. Hey, my people. Now we must make it local now. We must not talk about things on TV. Oh, nangu Chambas. Nangu Chambas. Nangu Hlat, nangu Sanzas, nangu Hlango Mvelweni. Nangu Stunza, nangu Ngobe Mhlophe. Ula kwedini. Ash. We are beautiful in my family. In my bloodline, we are beautiful, Tina. You can see, Mos. In my family, it's proper. We are proper there. It's from my grandmothers. Those women were very beautiful. I don't have their pictures now. Those women, they were very good looking. They would tell you themselves, short ladies with very, very small feet. Amara, they were yellow bones. My grandmothers, all of them, all of them were yellow bones. Yeah. So, my people, it's important to talk about these things because many lies have been told. These things have been hijacked. This is me some years back. I was still a little pickaninny here. People think this is about skin color, being light skinned or dark skinned. It's not even about that. That's why I never even talk about that. It's not about that, Yabon. It's deeper. This is bloodline. And the beautiful thing is that bloodline has ways of showing itself. Bloodlines have ways of manifesting itself. Bloodline will always show itself. It will manifest from time to time. You will have people with darker skin. You'll have people with lighter skin. You'll have people with more like, moderate brown, tsundu. We used to call it coffee color when I was young. It happens. It does happen. You see? Thank you guys for the belated birthday. Thank you. You see, these two now, they are on the dark side. These are Sen descendants. It's written there. The son and daughter of Bidi by his Mpondo wife. Second generation Sen descendants. Emampondweni ngabathwa aba, both of them. Both of them, abathwa. These are rainmakers in the Mpondo kingdom. These are rainmakers. You see, there in Mampondweni, you find a group of people known as Amazocho. Amongst Amazocho, you find Ongasana, you find Amagwahu, Odeyi, you find all these groups, Abatwa bonke abo, straight Aixoxis. Abatwa, all of them. Ongasana. omsimang inzala yabathwa leyo, even amaxesibe abanye abathwa basemampondweni, bathwa basemampondweni ziyabuya namhlanje, ziyakhala ke manje. Bathwa abamnyama, bathwa, they are dark and they are proper abathwa, these ones. Nazo ke ziyabuya ke manje. Khangela, don't you see your auntie here? Don't you see your uncle here? Don't you see yourself here? Now I can already see someone who looks like my neighbor when I was growing up. I can already see someone who looks like my neighbor. Abantu abafitshane bona vele, you know, but bakhona abantu abade. You must read the book by Moody called The Record. You must read that book. It talks about abatwa abade. Yabo. Blue Moon is saying, I'm Congolese, but my ancestors showed me that we came from the south. I have abatwa in my ancestry. That Bantu migration is theory is inaccurate. No, the Bantu migration is a political tool. Many people have debunked it long time ago. The Bantu migration theory was debunked long ago. It stands no ground at all. It's null and void. But it is a political tool, you know. Remember now, propaganda doesn't care about truth. Propaganda is just about manipulating and owning the narrative. You see? Owning the narrative. Hey, Bantu, you and I could be blood related. We look alike, handsome men. Yeah, I like it. It's good. I want to answer a question. I notice when Abelungu talk about Queen Kam, they only mention hunter-gatherer side. No, you see, even the hunter-gatherer side, we are the hunter-gatherers as well. Their problem is to assume that Abatwa don't keep cattle, Abatwa don't plant. They could not have been more wrong about it. They could not have been more wrong about it. JK Creations is asking, what's wrong with Bantu migration? What's wrong with Bantu migration is that it's a lie that was created by immigrants, not actually immigrants, settlers and invaders who came here and want to tell us who we are. It's like me now going to England and telling the people of England, oh no, you guys are actually not from here. I mean, they actually aren't from there. They say it themselves. If Europeans wanted to understand the history of this land, go to the people and ask them. Just go to the people and ask them. Yabo. Bantu migration has so many loopholes, so many gaps, so many misalignments with it. It practically cannot be truth, nor can it be a reliable reference point. Yabo. Bantu migration, first and foremost, has no timelines. It has no reliable historical basis. You understand? And it has no cultural context. It has no cultural context at all. Bantu migration would have you believe that there was a bunch of people who came from Cameroon and came to South Africa. When they feel like it, they put it like that. And if the mood changes, the next day they will tell you that, oh no, they didn't come from Cameroon, they came from Congo. And then when they feel another way, oh no, you guys came from North Africa. So if you listen to Bantu migration, in essence, uyaxeqa, uyaphambana, uyagula. You are crazy in the head. Understand? You are crazy in the head. So now someone was saying, in case and go to Abatwa Bafuchane, yes, Abatwa are short, but Abatwa, they are also Bakona bad. You see, people like the Gunukwa groups of people, the Gunukwa groups, Those are tall Abatwa. They are tall. There's records of Abatwa that are like that. There are some who are tall. There are some who are short. It's all just about, like manipulating the narrative. Now, someone's asking, Abatwa, are they a tribe or sub-tribe from Amampondo? Abatwa are not limited to a group like Amampondo or Amazulu or Amandebele. Abatwa are everywhere. Every group you can think of. Even Kalanga people, Kunabatwa within Kalanga people. I know personally, okay, not like face to face, but I've got records of Abatwa, Abangamakalanga, who have the surname Moyo. They speak Chwawu language. They're the Chwawukwe people. They are Kalanga, but Gabatwa. Uyabona? Bakhona Abatwa within Amavenda. Bakhona Abatwa as in like or any group you can think of in Southern Africa, all the way to Malawi. In Malawi today, as we speak, they know this. You understand? So any group that you know that exists, any group that you know that exists. So Abatwa are not some standalone thing. They are an actual African group. So when you talk about Abantu, you are actually talking about Abatwa. Kabantu abanye. It's like two branches of one tree. These branches go their ways and come back, and go their ways and come back, and go their ways and come back. But even more importantly, modern day South Africans like Amazulu, Amaxhosa, Mandebele, Botswana, these South Africans that you see today, Bona, they are literally Abantwana Babatwa, like literally by blood. It's not even a matter of 10,000 years ago there was some. No, like literally. Si yinzala yesende lomtwa. Si yinzala yesende lomtu. When you say umtwa and when you say umtu, that's the same thing. Jackie Creations is saying the Khoikhoi and the Khoisan are the original inhabitants of Southern Africa. Jackie Creations, if you knew anything about history of Southern Africa, you would know that there is no group of people known as Khoikhoi or Khoisan. Khoisan and Khoikhoi, these are inventions of Leonard Schulz, who was a German Nazi who participated in the Nama and Herero genocide in Namibia. So if, Jackie Creations, you are going to live your life based on the lies of a European, don't choose the lies that fit your narrative. Choose all of them. Go and read in the book History of Basotho, Modern and Ancient. Go and read in that book. You need to read, Jackie. Jackie, you must read first so that you don't embarrass yourself in public. Go and read in that book. That book says Bushmen came from Middle East. They were slaves of King Solomon. They were brought here by ships. Since you also believe that there's a group called Khoikhoi and Khoisan, as per the invention of Europeans, you must also take this now as your truth. Don't take part of it that serves your Democratic Alliance agenda. Take all of it. Take the part of the European lie that says Hottentots are from East Africa, from Somalis. Take it as your truth as well. Until you accept all these three things I mentioned, you take the Bantu migration as your truth, which you've already accepted. Also take the Hottentot invasion, because the Hottentots are said to have come from East Africa. They are Somali descendants mixed with Ethiopian. It's your Europeans, the ones you love so much. They're saying that. They're also saying Bushmen are actually slaves from they are Canaanites who are slaves for King Solomon. They came to Southern Africa to mine gold in the mines of King Solomon. So all those three things are from the same group of people, but somehow you conveniently choose the one that supports your anti-African narrative, because somehow you need to feel better about yourself and convince yourself that you own some land. If you still talk about Khoikhoi and Khoisan, you are a deluded, misinformed, ignorant, pusillanimous person who needs to sit down and learn. And I will not tolerate your delusion. This is not a platform for deluded people. Go and find out who you are and stop going around spewing bile on people's platforms. Now to continue, my people. So indaba yobuthwa, we need to understand it's the core of the modern day. It's the core of the modern day societies in South Africa. It is the core. Savvy Giant is asking, who settled first between King Solomon and Jan van Riebeeck? Oh no, according to white people, King Solomon was here thousands of years ago. Remember, King Solomon is like 3,000 to 4,000 years old. So they say that King Solomon was here. He used to come with ships. This is Ophir, Southern Africa is Ophir, and the Bushmen were slaves for King Solomon. That's what they say. All I'm saying is, people like Jake, who love the Bantu migration so much, they must also accept these lies as well. You understand? They must accept these lies. And also, they some of them quote the skull pseudoscience, the Negroid, Caucasoid, and Mongoloid pseudoscience of skulls. They're like, oh no, the IQ of this group is higher than the IQ of that group. According to that same theory, the so-called Bushmen that they claim they are the lowest form of hominin species. They're actually not human. And I'm not, this is not my theories. Please don't get me wrong, because I am umtwa myself. But these people who don't know who they are, who try to claim things that have nothing to do with them, go around picking up and taking any theory that they can pick up from the ground. You are embarrassing yourselves. You are literally embarrassing yourselves. You understand? Don't embarrass yourselves. Just keep quiet. Go and talk to your friends there on other TikTok groups that are like you and don't know nothing. If somehow you think, don't do that nonsense. And someone mentioned something very important. Uzile Mabongo says, even if we were from the Congo, what are they going to do? Exactly. That's another thing. Ne? We are not from the Congo. I know that. But even if we were, guys, like these people, it's not a curse to be from the Congo. Even if we were from Cameroon, personally, ne, I know who I am. But even if I were from Cameroon, I would be so proud of it. Because I'm still an indigenous African. I'm still an aboriginal indigenous Homo sapien. Cameroonians are not these subhuman species. These people have got intricate and complex histories. In Congo, there were kingdoms before Europeans even knew anything about Africa. Do you know that the Bakongo had about 12 offshoots of kingdoms? So the idea that being from Congo is some bad thing is not even the premise upon which we speak. I don't speak on the premise of ignorance about Congo. I know the history of Congo very well. Not only do I know the history, but also the languages. I know the languages. I've studied these things for a very long time. For a very long time. But we are not from Congo. It's just a lie. It has nothing to do with how we feel about Congo. It's just a lie. It's not there. Where we are from, we are human here, from here. Abantu are from here. And they are from other parts. Wherever they are from there. And there was movement back and forth. So the nonsense that, I know, Southern Africa was inhabited, blah, that's nonsense, man. It's the same thing that they are using to say Xhosa people in Cape Town are migrants. That's complete bollocks. That is complete bollocks. There are no Xhosa people who are migrants in Cape Town. There are no Xhosa people who are migrants in Cape Town. As early as 1650, Xhosa people who were reported to have been in places like Worcester. This is not my word of mouth. It's written in Jan van Riebeeck's diary. Who's saying it? It's 3 people. 2 chiefs and 1 royal princess or a member of, it's a chief of the Ainukwa people called Sweswa. His councillors, or one of his chiefs, was called Ahininta. He was married to a Xhosa woman. This is in the 1670s. Krotoa and Auchuma were both referred to Xhosa people in the 1650s, 1660s in Worcester, Western Cape. In fact, Europeans themselves admit that before the fourth trek, the great trek even took place, Xhosa people are already in Cape Town. In the 1700s, there's written records of Xhosa people in Cape Town. From the 1600s, 1700s to the 1800s. When the great trek happened, Xhosa people are there in Cape Town. They are working there in the docks. The great trek happened between 1835 and the early 1840s. Xhosa people are both in Eastern Cape and in Cape Town at this time. In Eastern Cape in 1835, King Yinza gets killed by George Southey and his brother. They go and buy land in what becomes Plumstead, in a place that is now known as Southfield. It's called Southfield because George Southey, the guy who pulled the trigger on King Yinza of the Amaxhosa, went and bought a piece of land in Cape Town, just outside of what is known as Wynberg. So this nonsense that Xhosa people, they were already there. They were all over. When the Great Trek takes place between 85 and 1840, the British are already causing so much damage in the Eastern Cape, deep Eastern Cape, where they had moved Xhosa people. Because Xhosa people were moved to Transkei. They are not from Transkei. Go and read William Patterson's account in 1770. When William Patterson is in Bichakama, he meets with the Xhosa King Kauta. Xhosa King Kauta is in Bichakama, on the banks of the river known as Mgwalana. Go and read on the account of the first hunters who came in contact with the Amaxhosa near Storms River. Because the people have got names for all these places, including Table Mountain, in indigenous language. These are all names. All these rivers, all the way to Jeffreys Bay, Oudtshoorn. These are places that are known by Xhosa people indigenously. I'm not talking about places that they were taught about by Europeans. So these lies, even the white South Africans know that these are lies. White South Africans know that these are lies. I repeat, white South Africans know, the government knows that these are lies, but they keep on propagating them. They keep on using these lies to catapult themselves into this position of presumed moral superiority. I was watching a documentary. Go into the page of Romantha official page. I was watching a documentary. They're talking about a township in Cape Town called Crossroad. That white boy there who speaks is like, I know, we know that Xhosa have been here. In fact, even before the Great Trek, even before Europeans went in, even before the Boers went into Joburg, before they went into deep Eastern Cape, before they went into KZN, before they went into Free State, to go and establish Orange Free State and Transvaal. Because people are already in Cape Town. The Boers know that. They are working there in the docks. They are in places like Milnerton. They are in places like Bishopscourt. They are in places like Constantia. They are in places like District 6. They are in places like Sea Point. They get moved by the apartheid government to places like Uitvlucht in Pinelands, in concentration camps. My own maternal grandfather was in Pinelands in Uitvlucht. He lived in a concentration camp. They were treated like animals, being forced to go into dipping sites, fully dip themselves into the water as if they are cows, as if they're going to cause disease to Europeans. Who brought disease from Europe, by the way? They were taken from Milnerton, from Windermere, from Maitland. I know people personally whose family members were from Milnerton, from Maitland. Today they're in Guguletu and Crossroads and Khayelitsha. You think these people just woke up and built shacks? They were pushed into those bloody places. So please don't talk about things you do not know here. Anyway, ukuhlabela mgama, before I close this live, this was just me saying hello to you, my people. This is not I'm not going deep. I'm just saying hello. Uri, I'm back. We're going to start hosting these lives more consistently now. I'm going to start hosting these lives more consistently. Remember now, we must always have a learner mindset. Tomorrow, or maybe today, I want to talk about Jan van Riebeeck and why they decided to stay. That's what I'm going to talk about. Jan van Riebeeck and why they decided to stay. Because Jan van Riebeeck was a criminal. He was a bloody criminal who did crimes in Batavia, where they colonized Asia, by the way. He did crimes in Batavia. He was working for the royal family, the Oost-Indische, the Dutch East India Company. Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, the Dutch East India Company. Jan van Riebeeck was busy stealing monies of the company. They sent him to the Netherlands. And his punishment was, you're going to South Africa. You're going to build a refreshment station for us. He came and built a mud house there. And then later on built the castle. I will tell you who was in Cape Town with evidence, but I need to prepare for that. Tonight, I'm going to host it. Please come and join. I'm going to book the event and I'm going to link it to all my videos. Please come and join. I'm tired of these people lying. And we are also, over time, I wanted to talk about Helen Zille and Rob Herzog, because these are immigrants. These are not even settlers. They are literal immigrants. Helen Zille is a Germanic immigrant of Jewish heritage. Rob Herzog is a Russian Jewish immigrant. And now there's this one of independent Cape exit, whatever that garbage they're doing. An immigrant from England. Somehow they know better than us. And then we're going to also talk about the white savior complex, where you, my people, need to hear from Umlungu for you to understand the gravity of the situation. This is Sandile, Umfene, Uhlati, Ujambas. This is Ucanzi, Usanzanza, Uhlangomva, Eliweni. Uphala kuhle ngoba le ndlela iyehlela. Ndingumfene mna, ndizalwa intombazana yasemanzuthweni unyile nzuma phanga ungqala unqange nqa sinuqoqa. Uqham. Liyobe phambili impuzi kasemva. Ngomtya nethunga kwekwasemanzothweni. Oyini bafazi bentsikizi le ntsholo nayiphazama nithabatha isidoda ngoma lihlatyelwe isifazi. Ndingumzukulwana emampehleni kocabashi konkomo zibomvu. Odikana, olubisi. Into zakulo ibeka wakulokani. Ndingumzukulwane emantlaneni kontlanga konqabane. Oziqelekazi ongqungqushi. Ohlamba ngobenda amanzi ekhona. Awu, ndisisizukuzuku kofaku othahla kandayeni. Faku ofakayo wayikhupha sawudidana. Ndibuye lwesisizukuzuku ke kwamagcina koxhamela koncancashe ohelusho nokwindla abantu abalamba bayendle omalamba edlile. Ndiyacamagusha ke kumangqosini yothithibo nozinga abantu bomlambo. Litye limnyama likathikoloshe. Bokodwe mnyama kahile eqenqeleke sehlise enyuka egqili. Ndicamagusha ke kwakhona kumagiqwa. Okhokho bam ojikijwa. Omva bayiketi lomnqayila inqindi. Nkosana, tshingwa ikhwazikhwazwa ngabayaziyo. Ndiyacamagusha ke kodlamini, ojama, osijadu, ongxibini oboya, ofakade. Ndithi ke kwangababizanga abangaqumbi baqalekise. Ngusandile ke lo. Usandile ngokakhunku, ukhunku ngokasigovo, usigovo ngokagoqoza, ugoqoza sisukuzuku sikathukana. Mna ndingumntu wokuphala ngezandla. Phala kuhle ngoba le ndlela iyehlela. Mabona wabulawe wena njengomthakathi. Malilelo zintombi zithi mfondizeke. Ndisisandlalanca mna, ndingumSuthu, ndingucanzi. Ndingusanzanzo wanzonza kwathi umntu. Ndinguhlatheli ngothiwa sele ndivutha lothiwa zimfene kuba zona zibaninilo. Ndingumfene zahlukana xa kutshona ilanga. Ndinguphala kuhle. Ndinguphala ngezandla. Ndingowakwamayikana wakwavimbisa, wakwarhwala emgodleni. Ndingowakwageqa amatye ngoba ndiyibeke etyeni ityiwe zimbovane. Ndinguluncu mna, ndingumwadla, ndingumandi wafikela uhlangeni. Ndinguzaba mna, umfene mazabiwe zabelwa abafokazi. Ndingusiduli, ndingungube emhlophe. Ndingowokupheka iphemphem ngengxawana, wokupheka iqhakuba ngengxawana. Camagu. I'm warning you, propaganda people. I'm not your average Joe. You don't come here with lies, or I will shatter you into 1,000 pieces. You go back to your state of delusion. Rather stay where you are with your friends, lying to one another. This is not a place of jokes. You come with lies, I will embarrass you publicly. Thank you, my people. Have a good night.